Blackjack, it looks like you're backing a little mini moon.
Morning, guys. Yeah, just taking a slight break from Twitter for the most part. I'll probably be on here for a few minutes. I just wanted to say good morning to all of you. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I'm feeling kind of good, dropping into some more music, playing some blues on the radio, and not listening to so much talk radio, which is really talk crypto, Cardano.
Hey,
So,
Blackjack, I'm so
yeah.
happy that Joker is my new boss.
That's funny, you cracking me up this morning. He could be a good boss, I think. He's not much of a taskmaster, I don't think.
I told him, there are two models, those 3D models I sent you, and I'm like, yeah, we could leave it to a community vote for either one to use, or we can figure out a way to use both. And then he said, "Oh, protege, you are so much more than just an artist. You're a whole financial wheeler and dealer, or something of that sort." And I'm just like, "Oh, the boss likes me. I impressed the boss."
That's nice of you to say, but my inner hero is jumping in right now and saying that has nothing to do with Cardano Over Coffee.
I'm so proud of you.
This is the warm up.
So proud of you.
Warm up phase, though.
It doesn't matter.
I think the warm up was to talk to the whole room, not have. I feel left out of you guys' conversation.
All right,
right. We're leaving
start
everybody out on
we'll
that.
Start
now.
talking about we'll start talking about education again, and DeFi. Love it.
I do appreciate you.
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, pal.
So we have this amazing guest today. They're called Saiyan Ninjas or something. They're this Ethereum. Never mind. If you were here yesterday, you'd get that joke.
I assumed you were messing with somebody, and I don't have the full inside intel on that. So what exactly happened?
Because you weren't here yesterday. So
I know. I had
go back and listen to the recording is all I can tell you. Because I'm not advertising that bullshit.
Well, then I already know everything I need to know.
Have we ever had to stop an interview before?
No, but I'm glad you did because the more I just kept getting it was bad.
So Lido laid down the hammer on the interview. Nice, bro. You're coming out of your shell completely, man.
Shell? What's shell?
He's always had, to me personally, he's been one of the more reserved, quiet type, not to say anything rude or off-putting to anybody. And, now he's doing so. You guys have, I don't know, corrupted him.
There it is.
There was reasons, trust me. That
yeah, Lido was saving the children before we got to him. Now he sells JPEGs.
Got it. Okay. No, I understand.
So the corruption came from two places, right? Definitely here at Epoch, and then I think it was driven in on Real Talk by Mr. Cinnamon Bun and his friends over there. So make sure you give him credit too.
I like how polite you are. You call him Mr. Cinnamon Bun. I call him Cinny or Cinny Bun.
Mr. Bun.
Mr. Bun.
Is that how we refer to him when we're in a boardroom meeting or something?
Mr. Bun, please share your perspective.
So I really want to talk about something, and I need my technical friends up here. So Santo, I see you down there. Where's R at?
Time for me to go.
It's time for me to go too, Block, when it comes to this shit. No, this is interesting. You need to stay for this. How did MinSwap move funds to a new smart contract if funds were already locked in a smart contract?
That's a question for our friend Torben, I think.
Why do you think they moved them?
Because they said they moved them to a new smart contract because there was some type of
well,
or is this just wording issues? Maybe
it could be there's sorry, go ahead, TCT.
No, go ahead. I haven't looked into it at all. I will.
Yeah. So I guess first piece of context is I actually had the exact same question here when I read the tweet this morning, and I was like, oh, I need to look into that. So wish I could have had my coffee and researched this first, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is more of a syncing issue and like a UI problem. Maybe they've blown away their intermediate cache somewhere that's populating the front end, and they're repopulating it. But they did clearly say that there's a new smart contract address. So the mechanism to move funds between them, that would be very interesting. I would be surprised if they can just like pull everything out of one smart contract and drop it into another. Sounds like a weird God mode. So I don't know. It doesn't quite make sense to me. I think I'm just missing some facts.
Definitely missing on the facts, but like, and this is the thing people don't realize with smart contract. All a smart contract says is, hey, Cardano, when you're ready to do the check of whether or not this action can be taken, call this. And if this returns in a certain way, Cardano would permit the transaction, right? So I haven't looked at MinSwap smart contract. Any smart contract can have a God mode. It can have a multi-sig type that's baked into the Pluto script itself that says, hey, if these addresses are present, funds can move. But again, how it's possible is because it could be written that way. Did it happen? I don't know. I haven't looked at those smart contracts.
I don't know. I'm just confused on how you move funds that are locked in a smart contract. How do you, unless there's a God mode, like you said, and I've seen that in the past, and that's something that I don't really agree with. So we'll, I guess I'll wait and see what the report that comes out says.
I can ask for it, guys. I'm on my bike right now.
Are you on a beach, Santo? There's a lot of wind.
Yeah,
He's
I know.
He's riding his bike.
I know. But I can ask.
Florida's super windy.
I know that they're coming out with a report because Long has already said that it'll all be explained, but it just looked at it and it just was like, I was like, what? Yeah, that don't make sense to me. So I'm gonna ask questions. Maybe somebody will know something.
Well,
Yeah,
Hero, for
it's-
someone like me who's fairly new and afraid to invest in such thing, should I look at this at?
Okay.
Should I? Well, no.
Protege, what do
I'm
you mean
asking.
afraid?
No,
Are you really
sorry.
afraid?
Yeah, actually, I am. For reasons like
You
this.
buy like every NFT out there.
Yeah.
Well,
NFTs don't make me any fear, but DeFi,
well, you
hold
know
on.
something. I will say, yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm. No, I've been totally clocked like into infinite space. Okay, you clocked me. You really did. But no, like I am or was more afraid recently, but as of late, not as much. And that's why now I'm asking. Well, this is like groundbreaking news to me because I was literally about to get min, and now I'm just like, so I'm asking, like, what do you theorize, Hero? Why do you theorize that this is good or bad, and you do or don't
I
agree
don't
with it?
theorize anything until they come out with a report, Protege.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool,
that's why we're
cool.
trying to talk about the tech, Protege. I mean,
Maybe there's something in the tech that I don't understand that allows them to do that. You know what I mean?
Or rather, let me ask, what are the potential benefits for them doing that outweigh the cons?
I
That's what I'm
don't
trying to get at.
benefit of anybody having control over my funds on a DEX. Right?
So let me ask you this: should I still get them in?
I don't know. That's up to you. I'm
well,
not
right.
selling my min.
True.
So.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
me neither.
That's the part that I wanted or needed to hear. Got it. Copy all.
I'm not doing
Thank you.
anything until I hear the team come out with a report, which they said they're going to do. I've only brought it up to make sure that people are aware that this
yeah,
is.
we're just kind of trying to figure out what's possible here, right? Like he asked for technical opinions on how this could be playing out, and at the end of the day, like this is in my opinion, this is a good thing, right? These are things that good tech teams do. When they're literally catching their own stuff. It's not like someone went to them and said like, "Hey, your smart contract has some issue, and like we found it before you did." It's actually like they found an improvement a very large, apparently, a very large improvement opportunity on their code, and they very quickly went into maintenance mode and they got it done, right? So like, I could take that in a few ways. I can speculate that like there was actually a very big vulnerability that hadn't been found, and they found it first, and they patched it, and they moved, and
Is it?
that's highly likely. If they're willing to, I don't know, if they did end up going the multi-sig route and actually like pulling from the funds, they probably were reacting to an exploit or the possibility of one, right? So I really like to see tech teams that know what the hell they're doing, and really it shows when they're doing stuff like this, right? So I think Hero's right. Like, let's watch how they handle the rest of this, right? This is a multi-day thing. They've already went into maintenance mode. They've already made the updates. They're communicating it. They're going to round it out. Then we'll ask questions, and we'll really see how it's been. But I wouldn't worry just because there's movement on smart contracts, right? Like, all of Moosely is moving from their initial version to V2. You know what I mean? Like, this will continue to happen. It's how they do it that matters.
How to do it, it really is the key there. And honestly, like in a pure decentralized kind of a situation, um, and also when I was saying earlier about what you can do with the smart contract stuff and Cardano ETUXO model, right? Some of these smart contract, they could be baked. You can think of them as like having different verbs, right? So a smart contract can have a receive verb, a send verb, um, move verb kind of a thing. So I could see a contract having the ability for funds to move from contract to contract, but not necessarily to like leave, um, to like go to an address or something along those lines. But again, it's really up to the developers. So I think getting more information for sure from InSwap would be great when they come out. In a pure where you actually have to migrate a smart contract, the decentralized way would be everybody will have to like withdraw that liquidity and put it into a new thing. That is the thing that would give me peace of mind. Even if there was a vulnerability, that is what I would love to see as like how we move the funds. Like everybody needs to like go take action and like withdraw it out of the old contract and deposit it into the new contract. That is the decentralized way. So if we actually move smart contract and there's no user engagement, that would be a serious red flag for me. But on the bright side, assuming that's not what's happening, we get the LBE boost for a few more days, and that means Blackjack over there gets to wave his superiority card over Epoch for a few more days. Go ahead, Blackjack. You have your hand up.
Yeah, so when Epoch said God mode, basically they kind of it's a two-prong, right? If you put it in there as a developer or a project, you're giving yourself hopefully the ability to be, if you're thinking about it in a proper manner, to be able to handle a problem if one arises. But that also creates a problem on the back end where anybody can get control of that and create like a backdoor, right? Which isn't good. And then when they mentioned rewrite, I immediately thought, okay, they're doing something very large, as far as a change goes. But they, in their Discord, they were very calculated about what they said and how they said it, but they weren't protective in any way. They seemed very open, to giving everybody information. And there wasn't a lot of craziness in the Discord at all. Everybody seemed pretty calm about it for the most part. And then from there, it just felt like, adding the 2 extra days as soon as they get it right was the good way to go. So overall, I feel like they're a young crew, but they're handling it in a way that suggests that they have a little experience to me personally.
Okay, Hero, do you want to hear what a Plutus programmer has to say?
Yeah, Santo, if you
Okay.
found out anything, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'm just going to read it to you. So technically, this is possible, but you have to. So I asked him, MinSwap update, and people are worried, right? And so technically, this is possible, but you have to still fulfill one of the programmed conditions of the sending smart contract The receiving smart contract is just an address, so there's nothing happening. But it would be possible to have an admin wallet, which allows all kinds of transactions with a smart contract, as long as this wallet signs the transaction. But that needs to be programmed as well. I know JPEG Store discussed that option once with their community, but the community was against it. End the quote.
Interesting.
Protege,
We're
then I'll do
we're
my
learning,
shout
right?
out.
It just feels like we're learning. These are growing pains to me personally.
Protege, why is your hand up?
Oh no, just to be respectful. No, see, when I first heard about this whole topic, I took it not as a maintenance. I didn't realize it was more of a maintenance discussion of a topic. I thought it was they're taking the locked ADA that was invested, and then they are divesting it, using that to whatever else invest and divest to pump the bags or however, whatever the reason. That's how I took it as initially. So my misunderstanding on that.
Okay, I'm not sure if Twitter is right. Because I put in Cardano Over Coffee and I did a search and I did latest tweets, and I'm seeing shout out to Hero and Protege, Epoch Pool, Solaire. Special shout out to Pumpkin Queen. She always has I think it's a she, always has the best images with her tweet.
Yeah, that's
Yum yum.
that's the lady that produced the movie.
Right. Yes, Toxica.
Yes.
Shout out to Nicholas. Love Coach. Okay, well, that's what I'm seeing right now. So if I didn't call your name, maybe next time you should add your host and tweet out the space. Hey Tommy, there you go, Blackjack. Tweet out the space, folks.
As soon as I heard your voice, I knew exactly what you were doing.
You knew
I
you were
posted
getting
it right then. I'm like, get it in. Thanks for the reminder, pal.
You weren't quick enough though. He still, he almost beat you.
I know.
Epoch.
Hero.
Did you look at the price of Cardano today?
No, I don't check prices. I check them like once a month unless someone forces me to.
Like I haven't looked for a few days, but I looked today, this morning, and I was like, whoa, what happened? TCT, go ahead. You had your hand up.
Wait, what's it at? Hold on. It's time for me to catch up. Are we like 120s yet?
Wait. ADA is not one ADA? I'm confused.
It is a stable coin. It's stuck at 1. Oh, no, it's stuck at 133. That's what I'll never forget, when we were bouncing around 1.3334 and 1.3333. That was epic.
Best times ever.
You remember though that, right? Like it was like a hilarious multi-week period where we just like did not deviate from like the single cents.
Until everybody started complaining that it was a stable coin, and then as soon as that happened, what happened?
I don't know. Well, someone ruined it for us. Give up the joke.
I was trying to get some more in my bag under $1. What are these people doing? Like, we're not ready to be above $1. Can we, like, everybody sell their shit? Go empty your bags right now.
Yeah, I had a buddy last night telling me like, is Cardano over $1? I was like, I don't know, man. You got to check. He's like, I'm gonna be pissed if I didn't get it. If I didn't seize the opportunity and buy it while it was below $1. And I was like, well, man, I mean, I feel like I've been saying this for a year now. If it's below $1, it's good. If it's above $1, it might be below $1 later.
So you got all hodlers?
I'm a born believer hodler, yes.
Uh-huh. See, I went full time. I went full time in November. Now I need the cash flow. So I'm not necessarily a complete hodler anymore.
What did you degen into, Santo?
No, I'm just saying I'm running a business. I have expenses. And I need to pull some money to pay, hosting services and stuff, or do I not?
Before I went full time last June, Santo, what I did is I had 3 years of expenses in my bank account. That was
No, I have all that. I'm just no, that's not an issue. I can either continue to hodl, which I actually am still,
But
or
what's
I
the
can
other
start
option? What are
pulling.
you going to exit to like an Ethereum stablecoin?
No, I'm just going to help with my cash flow, like a real business does.
well, ADA is cash flow, Santo. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
the base currency is ADA.
Well, yeah, I get. Okay, look at.
The staking rewards is the
I
cash flow.
I understand all of that. Okay, you guys are dodging my question. I can tell. Okay, so at, are we?
If you have to sell to pay bills or whatever, I'm not against that. Like, I sell a little bit probably every month. Now it's not like a significant, but
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah.
So
maybe not every month.
from my pool's perspective, like my pool rewards is all earmarked to be spent like every month. Now, it's far and few in between that we get rewards, but either some of our rewards are like going to charities, or is paying the bills, or is like paying people to actually like do all the stuff that like gets done on LIDONation.com. So
Right. That's the question I had. So you just don't even look at the price. You just have to pull some out and pay some bills.
right, the rewards that like the whole reward is earmarked to get spent. Like there is not a Lido pool huddle, but part of the budget.
And I'm probably too much of a degen to hodl because I just spend it on other stuff in the ADA ecosystem.
And
Every
this
word
is actually
you guys talk about spending something is painful to me. I just can't spend ADA. Period. I'm not spending it. Period.
You are not gonna make it
Like
if I'm spending
my
it.
my personal ADA, I don't spend. Like my personal rewards, I hodl, but the pool reward is definitely 100% earmarked to be spent.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, this is actually a funny debate that Epoch has internally almost every week at this point. Epoch Nick will come out and say, "Hey, can we convert a percent of our treasury into a stable coin so that we could pay bills from that instead of ADA?" And I say, "No, Nick. ADA is the base currency." And he says, "No, let's go get USDC." And I go, "No, we're going to wait for JED, and then we'll get some JED." So if you want to contribute to the debate, I hope you join my side.
I think
That is the debate.
if you have to pay bills, like, and you have no other way of paying it, great. Do what you got to do.
Wait, how would you have
So
other way of
we actually
paying
have a bank account in US with USD in it because we've taken projects that wanted to pay in USD. So we've racked up some USD in that account, and that's where we pay a lot of our bills from. There's only really one bill that we have that actually gets paid through actually a crypto.com card, and then that gets reloaded from ADA rewards from the pool.
How do you like the crypto.com card?
It's so good. I like that it's really nice card. It's like an actually nice card. It's heavy, it's metal. It gives me a good reward rate. I put that Crow that I get from transactions into the DeFi in Crow, and it grows at 13%.
Who's building that on Cardano right now?
So
Liquid.
Are they? I mean, they may be able to, but I don't know of anyone who's actually building a proper debit card solution.
I don't know if anybody is doing either, but if anybody is going to do it, it would be Liquid. It's currently, unless somebody pops out of nowhere, we don't know about.
JED has that ecosystem already and technology.
Cody's
I mean,
close.
it's not right. So you might be able to do it with JED if you hold JED. But they're also not available in the US.
I was able to use MoonPay the other day pretty quickly. KYC'd in about an hour, and then moved from Cardano wallet to Coinbase, out of Coinbase into my bank account.
I just like that.
Wait. So how did MoonPay help in that flow?
He bought the ADA with the MoonPay, I thought.
No.
Because I heard ADA Coinbase bank account, so I'm confused about the MoonPay part.
I know. I don't know whether they like me more than other people. I keep hearing that over and over, but I've been good for like since 2017. And I use Coinbase Pro, and they give me.
Yeah, but what's this MoonPay thing?
They're like an e-commerce company that's up and coming. I've been following them for a couple years. Venture backed. You know, I think it was about 5 million in the first round. They got gigantic valuations since then. But they're going for it. They basically want to be the PayPal for crypto, right? To the fiat, on ramps and off ramps. Gero wallet has got it integrated into their wallet. MoonPay.
Yeah, MoonPay legit.
Epoch, why haven't you told me about this? Why have you not slid into my DMs? Oh my god.
Because MoonPay is one of those is like, oh, you can come buy and trade SHIB here. And you're like, oh my god. Just can't handle the pandering to the crap coins just because like they're traded.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I need to get rid of my bank account. Like, I want to get rid of my bank account and totally like close. I have a small loan there that I could pay off and just completely close it, but I need to be able to get my pay my cable bill, right?
Yep. And I try to pay a lot of bills through the crypto card. Sometimes it gets declined. I will say that. Like there's random places that just won't take it. But it's nice that if I'm ever like don't have enough funds, I can just open up the Crypto.com app and like just load it up, and then within like 30 seconds I'm buying again. So it's pretty convenient.
How does the taxes work with that, going back and forth like that?
I'm sorry, Santo, you're cutting out. It's kind of like you're
The
speaking
taxes?
a different. I'm not hearing that. It's like I can't comment.
Oh, okay. I get it now. Okay, sorry. I'll shut up.
Is there wind again? You're getting a little windy, Santo. It's a little windy there again.
Get off the bike, Santo.
I'm indoors now, so I know what I'm doing.
That's hilarious, man.
LIDO, what's up, man?
So I have a question, Hero. I keep forgetting to ask you this. I've been wanting to ask you all week. What's happening with hero cards?
That's a great question.
Much, truthfully, I haven't sold a pack of hero cards since December. Kinda has really failed, truthfully.
Are they still minting?
The mint address is still there, but no one has minted anything since December. Our Discord had like 3 people that talked to themselves, which was me and one other person. So very little support after the initial drop. That's what happened.
So like when do we go to like trading conventions? Because that was the sell for hero cards, right? It was people were going to be trading them and doing all this shit with them.
That's what I hoped for, right? But sometimes things don't work out, Lido.
You speak truth. You speak truth.
I'm still working on some things to maybe. I had the artist kind of left me because he made no money. Some other things kind of happened behind the scenes. I lost about 8,000 ADA total. So,
yikes. What were you gonna say, Epoch? And I don't see our first guest in the house, but what were you gonna say, Epoch?
Sorry to hear that, dude.
I was just gonna say that, like, NFTs are tough, right? Like, I definitely think it's hard to be a really good NFT project, I think, at the end of the day. And, we've seen similar, decline in interest kind of on the ADA Nugget side, right? So, like, we haven't sold a Nugget in quite a while. So, I think we're in similar boats on this. And, it's a good question of, like, what do we do, right? Like, we've talked about repackaging the remaining assets and trying to change the kind of pricing model. That might help, but we've thought about doing different initiatives or marketing campaigns, but I hate marketing, so that doesn't always happen. And we're also just interested in like using these things when there's cool new functionality, right? So we're always going to have the ADA nuggets to tinker with, but how exciting are they going to be to like the public as an NFT project? I think that's the hard part, and it's really hard to get organic searches on smaller projects. So I think it's definitely, I appreciate that we're talking about this. It's something that I've felt, I don't want to say bad, but, you know, a little bit like a failure of like, man, I really wish, you know, this kind of would have taken off a little bit more.
You didn't feel half near as bad as I did, dude.
Yeah, but it, you know, we're taking our swings. They're not all going to pan out. But you know, we are running the minters still, so we are paying to keep the minters running. So we'll probably at some point need to figure out, do we just keep those running, or do we shut them down, or do we put another effort into it, or hell, do we do a collab and offer both hero cards and ADA nuggets together? I'm definitely open to thoughts and ideas. This is an area that like I have not felt like is running A+ style.
Sorry.
Well, we could talk about this, and I see you guys have your hands up, Block and Jarhead, but we do need to get to our first guest that's down below. So I'm going to let you two speak, but we can't stay on the subject too long. Going up, if you could request, Jarhead, if you can go first.
Yeah, I'll make it quick, man. Number one, I just wanted to ask about, I think you've talked about this before, but I just wanted to ask about how the likeness works, you know, with like hero cards. Is there like a simple explanation with that?
Yeah, it's hand-drawn. It is not a picture. So there's no legal issues. I looked all into it way before I even started the project.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the second point is I think a lot of projects that minted a long time ago maybe lost some steam, as Epoch was kind of saying. These projects would do well if they have the time and maybe the resources to have somebody continue on with marketing just in a new way. I think there's going to be consolidation within a lot of projects that may be struggling a bit. That may be the only way to jumpstart it forward. I mean,
got to get on a roll before you. My project never even got on a roll. Like, I sold.
okay.
You know who bought most of the cards, other than the first set? Me. So.
Yeah.
And me, I have like 80 hero cards. So
yeah,
I'm
fair
a whale, baby.
I have like 60.
Ooh,
Just so you know.
I'm beating
me and Proto JB whales.
I'm
We're gonna do whale stuff later.
I'm fucking pissed because excuse my language, I still haven't gotten the damn Pele, and I'm Brazilian up in here. I've been dreaming of that damn card.
Dude, I got one. Just message me. I'll send you.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm about to like squeal right now like a little girl. Oh my god! I'm so happy. Oh, prazer, honra. Obrigado, meu amigo. Woohoo!
Anyhow, I'm glad that you're excited. Send me a message and we'll trade up, because I got a shit ton of cards that we could trade. But anyhow, we need to move on.
Okay.
Going up, which I never really heard of you guys prior to. I did a little bit of research before the show. Very interested in what you guys have going on over there.
Yeah, hi everyone. So this is Stefania from Going Up. I am the co-founder of a collaboration and on-chain reputation platform for Web3 professionals. So right now we are almost ready to launch our MVP. And we are planning to integrate with Cardano.
Can you tell me a little bit about the background of you, how you found Cardano, why Cardano, and then tell me what exactly you guys are doing, because when you say Web3, that don't mean anything to me. So
yeah, sure. So my background is in design engineering. So before I used to work with galleries and with auctioneers in the art market. Then I became a design engineer. After that, I got into the Web3 space where I was creating smart contracts for crypto artists. So helping them to get their custom contracts so they can sell their art or their collectibles. And I got into Cardano after NFT NYC, when I met few people from the Cardano meetup in New York, happening every Sunday. And I got interested. I read more about it. Also, I recently put a proposal. We recently put a proposal for Going Up in the Catalyst in the Catalyst side. So basically, when we talk about Web3, we are talking about professionals. For Going Up, we are targeting artists, creators, developers, marketers. So after interviewing many crypto artists, we discovered that there is a fundamental trust issue and a collaboration issue. And also due diligence can be quite difficult for creators and developers because it takes time. And there is also a problem linked to informal work, because more and more people are joining DAOs, they are joining informal jobs, NFT projects, and that experience cannot always be tracked. But with Going Up, what we are trying is to leverage that experience and let it be on chain, so everything can be tracked, everything can be seen, and people also can get rewards and badges of appreciation when someone works with them and they are happy with what they have done. I don't know if that replies to your question, Hero Pool.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Can you explain to me why I would want to use your platform?
Yes. So the key incentive for people to use Going Up is to start building their reputation, to start showcasing that they are actually capable, that letting their achievements speak for themselves rather than who they are in real life, but like really showcasing how capable they are. And also it's a good opportunity to meet people that you wouldn't meet otherwise, because we all know that Discord is a very disorganized place, especially when we are in the crypto space, where we have lots of people. Sometimes we can miss introductions, or we can it's difficult to trust people in Discord. So having a place where we can find vetted collaborators would be a good opportunity to start new projects that we wouldn't otherwise.
Interesting. I'm not real big in the DAOs and into, I'm not big in the reputation style systems, because I think that's a way to people can go in and put something bad about my reputation and has absolutely nothing there. Then who's there to gatekeep it, to make sure that information is true about my reputation? How do you stop someone from doing something false?
Yeah, so the way that we are developing the platform is that we want to give a fair chance. So we want to make sure that everything is associated with the wallet. Also getting people to vote for that, kind of like vouch for the other person, and making sure that also this person can vouch for themselves. So in that way, we can kind of lock a score for a few days and really understand whether this is just someone who is trying to make a bad joke, or it's actually something bad that this person has done or not.
I've got a question.
Yes.
What's
Hi.
the difference? Hi, thanks for coming on the show. What's the difference between Going Up and LinkedIn or Upwork?
Yes, that's a really good question. So the difference between Going Up and LinkedIn and Upwork is that so LinkedIn, Upwork, they are very, very based on just networking. Anyone can claim what they want. We all know that, for example, some people on LinkedIn, they can say that they are a McKinsey consultant with 10 years experience, but in fact they are not, because there is no one to verify that. And what we are trying to do with Going Up is using tokens and blockchain to verify that actually people have those tokens in their wallet. That means that they have been associated with, let's say, McKinsey, because they received some tokens from McKinsey saying that they were a really good collaborator. So then we will have some verified information to understand that they are actually someone who has done that experience. So yeah, I would say the main difference is that we are going to actually verify the information through the use of tokens.
I guess real quick question on that. I mean, is that true about LinkedIn? Don't they have a way to verify that? doesn't the employer accept that that person is a part of the organization and that shows up on the profile?
As far as I know, no. I mean, I have seen some fake profiles on LinkedIn.
I've definitely seen fake profiles before myself, so I agree with that problem. But I'm just trying to understand, like, from the employer side of things, LinkedIn has obviously got a huge advantage. So, do they really not verify these things?
I can help EPOCH a little bit if you want. I've been on LinkedIn for a very long time. What it is it's not like a verification system. If an employer, so there's people on LinkedIn, right? And then there's employers on LinkedIn. If you're an employer and you have an employer account on LinkedIn, you pay more. But then you can connect people that have been employees and put it on your employer LinkedIn account, and then it will like cross reference a little bit. But I think she's right. It's not actually. I mean, my question for growing up is, I'm curious of how you're going to do that verification process exactly, because I'm very interested in this. I think this is really. I know Hero kind of poo-pooed it, but having an on-chain reputation system is like really valuable.
We can just move to China and use their reputation system.
Well, but there's lots of different kinds.
Social
right?
credit.
Yeah, well, you
I'm
guys
joking, by the way, Sando.
Okay. I'm learning when you're joking. It'll take me a little while. But yeah, if you can explain how the tokens are going to be used to verify somebody's work, that'd be great.
Yeah, so we have on our advisory board, we have one quant that is also helping us to figure that out in terms of the algorithms that we are going to use to score people. But basically, everything will be based on your wallet, and we will give tokens to people, tokens of appreciation that are kind of like rare NFTs that they can reward to people. So, for example, if you went to NYU, then you will, once you graduate, for example, your student association or of NYU, if they are part of the Growing Up network, they will award you a token that you will have in your wallet. And that would be the proof that actually you were involved with NYU. And that's the simple way that we want to start verifying things. Like we plan to partner up with students associations. So right now, the first one that we are starting to talk to is Columbia Student Association, and from there we want to grow and also have other institutions as part of our partners.
Do you have the Plutus Pioneer Program in there? You don't.
Sorry?
You should. The Plutus Pioneer Program by Cardano Foundation?
No, actually, I haven't.
You should.
Yeah.
And I would jump on that wagon, Santos. So there's been 14 funded projects that has to do with one or another kind of networking, and there's been 12 funded projects that was funding over $360,000 that has to do with credentials and verifying stuff through Project Catalyst. Like how plugged in are you with the Cardano community and what's being built and Catalyst and collaboration efforts and how we can kind of build on each other's successes and not duplicate and fragment this kind of stuff.
So would it be possible to repeat the question, please?
How plugged in are you with Cardano and Catalyst, right? So it seems like a lot of the stuff going up is vying to build. Is also happening within the Catalyst ecosystem and themes, either building something similar or building pieces of it, right? So credentials, for example, was one where Catalyst have already allocated $360,000 to deal with credentials and Tyler Prism and stuff like that. So how plugged in are you with the Cardano community and like teams just doing similar work?
So with the Cardano community and the Catalyst proposal, so we are applying to the F8, the Great Migration, and we are integrating with Milkomida because we are using EVM Solidity. So yeah, I mean, this is the easiest way for us because our dev is like Solidity developer to integrate with Cardano.
That answers my question. Go ahead.
Comeda.
Can you talk more about the dev team? How many devs are there, and what are their experiences?
Yeah, so our team is quite small at the moment. So we are pre MVP. So MVP is almost ready to go. So we have one Solidity full stack and Solidity dev. Me and my engineer. What was that?
Some troll
Say I
doing
farted.
something.
I think I
They've been
farted.
removed. Sorry about that.
Good job, hero.
Yeah, one Solidity dev, design engineer. So my background is, as I said, like a mix of UX, UI design, and engineering, and an MBA. And also we have Matt, who is in community management. So we are a small team of 4 people at the moment.
Is there any reason why your Solidity programmer won't learn Plutus?
So it,
Besides the obvious. I mean, obviously, you know, he already knows how to program in Solidity. He can bring over all of his work and go through
yeah,
the
I mean,
EVM.
we would be keen actually to get involved in Haskell or in Bluetooth. I mean, it's just a question of timing and what is more convenient right now.
So on that, right? And this is not a good or bad opinion at all. It does seem like if we're building something in Solidity on Macomeda, that will really limit your ability to integrate a lot of these modules that is being built around credentials and identity and interoperability and things like that, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, how are you guys thinking about just the interoperability side of things and being able to, for if my credentials that I developed on growing up, if that would be useful outside of growing up?
Yeah, so one of the things is like with the money from the grant, we also plan to hire Haskell developers. For example, we could try to get one. That's a possibility. But with Milkomida, I mean, what is very interesting is that we not only have access to one chain, but different chains, and that's yeah, it's a huge playground. Like, so Milkomida will solve the interoperability for us.
Um, so I guess I get the interoperability on the blockchain and like side of things. Not so much. I don't get the interoperability on the dApps and like Cardano side of things. That seemed like there would be a challenge, but that's something to think about. My other question was self-sovereignty, right? So how much of this stuff that we're gonna be giving you, our profiles and our stuff, how much of that is gonna live, in some decentralized storage, whether that's metadata or NFTs, versus on centralized server? How much of that data am I actually going to own?
So yeah, we would like to make sure that the users actually own their data. Although, I mean, right now for the MVP, we are storing everything in a centralized database. But once we get more funding going, we plan to release a version 2, like a beta version, where we plan to decentralize a lot more and also listen to the feedback of the users, because they are super important for us. Also understanding what their concerns, features that they want to have, and also we are considering using Orbit for the decentralized identity part.
Urbit. I've been hearing more and more about that in the crypto world. I guess I need to go and really look into it.
Urbit is great. It's not for the faint of heart. It's one of the worst named tech ever. I'm glad to hear you guys are integrating that. Um, and I guess when you bring Urbit into the picture, then Ethereum makes a lot of sense. Um, cool. Any
Yeah,
other questions from anybody?
I'm just going to put out one more comment, guys. Now, be quiet. So yeah, that's what it feels like to me. Is you're coming from the Ethereum world, and what's going to happen is you're going to miss out on all the benefits of the Cardano world. I mean, Hydra's coming this year. You're going to miss out on the native token. There's just so many technologies that Cardano does better than all the other chains, and because you're Urbit and Solidity. I mean, I get it. You need to start, so you're going to get off the ground, and you're going to learn, and then maybe you can transition. But just putting that out there.
Thanks, Santo. I definitely think you're right. There's going to be advantages to running, like the advantage to running things on Milkomeda with Solidity is that there are already a lot of Solidity developers, right? To be very blunt, that's the benefit. So when they come over, they can use the language they already know, right? The reality is that the Plutus pioneers have to work with Haskell. They have to work with recursive, functional programming. So a standard Solidity dev might not have any of that ability, right? They might have to learn all of that. But that doesn't mean that the native functionality on Cardano is going to be more readily available and it's going to be supported faster, right? Because it's already native versus waiting for something to be supported within the Milkomeda chain, right? So what I hear is if you're running on Milkomeda is that there's actually going to be many, many months before you're actually launched. So my question for you is, what are the key dates? What are the milestones, the roadmap? When do you actually expect to have a product that people can use?
Yeah, so we plan to have a product that an MVP that people can start using in the next 2 weeks and a half. So we are almost ready to launch.
Whoa,
And
that's so fast.
That is
everything.
different. Usually you hear the NFT drop is coming, the token launch, and then Q3 of next year.
No, so we have been working on the MVP for the last couple of months.
And what is the MVP? What is give me the feature list of the MVP.
So it's a simple like connect your wallet, create a profile, like onboarding, create a profile, select your preference in terms of collaborators, select your background, connect your social media accounts, Twitter, GitHub, LinkedIn. Although they recently closed their API, so yeah, we have a small problem with that. And that's verification of the accounts can also give you extra points to your score. So the score that we are calculating right now is very simple. It's based on the information given on the profile. But next stage is really looking to what is inside your wallet, also to provide a more accurate score. And yeah, it's basically connecting with people through the MVP.
Did you say the score is going to be there? So will there be that algorithmic score on the profile?
Yeah, there will be a score, but that score, as I said, for the MVPs is a very simple one. So it's calculated with the amount of information that you provided on your profile and if you verified your social media accounts.
Interesting. So Karma, I'm going to kick it to you, even though I got 1,000 questions.
Right, and we're kind of running out of time here. But go ahead. Actually, I think Zipper had his hand up first. Go ahead, Zipper, and then Karma.
Yo, what's up? What's up, everybody? So I'm loving the conversation. I'm loving the project being discussed. But my concern really, and I don't know if this will be something that's going to be able to be answered now for you, going up, or if it's something that you can answer later. But when it comes to this project, right, we discussed about LinkedIn earlier, and Hero had brought up that point with LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn has ways to verify, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Again, the only difference with LinkedIn is they're operating more on Web 2. But what I do know from people that do work in LinkedIn is that they are planning to move to blockchain technology. I don't know when that will be. I don't know if that's next year, 5 years from now. I don't know when that will be, right? And then with Cardano, something Lido brought up is the fact that we do have verification programs. We have a Talent Prism, et cetera, many things that Catalyst has already funded. So I just come from a point of long-term and differentiation, right? What makes your project different from what's already out there and what's to come? So I don't know if that's something you can answer now, if it's something that you guys are still working on.
So yeah, this is also something that we are still working on, but I would say that the main differentiation point is the scoring system, because LinkedIn they don't have any scoring, and basically, as I said, like the problem is that anyone can claim anything, so you can you can be collaborating with people that have actually been verified and can be quite terrible. So yeah, we really want to kind of like be very good at the scoring part and verifying the information.
Okay, thank
Go
you for
ahead.
that.
Go ahead, Carmel.
Yeah, I don't know where to start other than to say I have a million questions, probably similar to Epoch. Some of these same questions I bet that he has. Um, I I love the ambitiousness. Is that a word? I love the ambition.
Thank
I
you.
think it's a hugely ambitious project. Uh, I am very skeptical of things that involve reputation, and I've seen that be misused in systems of record for a million years, to the detriment of social engagement and networking. I would say that if you pull this off, it could be an excellent, you know, tool to sell to Microsoft at some point with LinkedIn. I'll be very blunt. This is a feature of LinkedIn to me. This is something that you would eventually show enough progress and momentum, and then sell the whole ship to LinkedIn for a jillion dollars and retire on a beach. So I hope that happens to you. But to me, this is a feature of LinkedIn. And I'm not a big LinkedIn fan, so I have some of the criticisms you do. It is easy to mistreat information on LinkedIn. You're absolutely right. There's no verifiability of information. I could say I worked at GE Healthcare for 72 years, and there'd be little way to verify that or not. Other than my current employer, it would be very hard to verify that. Same thing with education. I love that you're talking to Columbia and NYU, but as you know, here in the US alone, there's literally 6,000 some odd universities and schools. You're going to have to get everybody within the college system to buy into this. I mean, not everybody goes to New York to go to school, right? And I know you
Yeah.
know this. And I know this is minimal viable product, and you're trying to prove value. And I love the proof of value approach. I think that's the phrase you should use. You should use it a lot in business. Proof of value, proof of concept. I don't even like proof of concept as much as I like proof of value. What you're trying to do is show enough value with your 4 employees that somebody takes a look at you and says, oh man, this is wild. And I too believe it's a feature of a bigger solution at some point, but I'm willing to pay big bucks to see this get developed further. I guess one of my worries for you is around compliance and identity management. How are you going to, we see this in the PKI world with certificates all day long. How are you planning, if you issue coins, let's say, to an individual because you're able to verify that they went to NYU and they graduated, summa cum laude with a degree in finance? Great. So let's say you provably identify that. What happens later if one of your provable behaviors is then revoked by an institution? And maybe universities aren't a good example, it's hard to take a degree away from somebody. But you could take a lot of other things away from somebody because they maybe, committed a felony that was serious enough to take away something or whatever. If I rob a bank, how do you go and ding my reputation, even though my 72 followers on Facebook love me? They happen to be the 72 guys that helped me rob the bank. So, and I know I'm giving a silly example, but how do you ding somebody's reputation rather than just augment it with positives if they do something, heinous?
Yeah, so for universities, it is actually possible that they can revoke
Yeah, you can
degree.
revoke a degree. Yeah, it's just unlikely, but it can happen. Yeah. So let's take that example. Columbia revokes a degree from somebody. What would be your plan with the tokens, and how do you do that?
I mean, that's a very difficult question. And actually, I mean, one of the things is that, for example, robbing a bank doesn't make you know how to do something less. So what we are trying to verify is are you someone who knows how to do something, who knows how to do, for example, UX UI design, and you have been rewarded for that. But what happened, I mean, in real life, and if they have been involved in a crime or so on, I think it would all depend also in the infrastructure that is built around other systems, because I mean, we can know all the information around the people. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, not so much. I mean, there's a lot that goes into reputation, and I would just challenge. And back to my point on compliance.
Hey,
I'm
Karma,
I'm
I need you.
yeah.
I know you have a million questions and concerns, and I'm gonna suggest something to going up, but I just need you to wrap it up so that we can
You bet.
move on.
No, let me just say this. I love the ambition. I think maybe thinking deeper about compliance, personal
Yeah.
data, where that data is going to be stored. When you said centralized, my you know my angst got up when you said centralized for now until phase 2 when you decentralize. I think that might be something you want to kind of put a little more thought in. But again, love the ambition, and I wish you the greatest of luck. Take a
Thank
look
you
at
so much.
Atala Prism. Take a look at Atala Prism, and whether you could use that for identity. It sounds very Prism-y to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for your feedback.
So first to my two co-hosts, please watch who you're inviting up as speakers. Like, if they don't have a profile picture, and just because that guy was about to troll all over them again. That's twice now today.
Yeah, who is doing that? LIDO?
It was not me.
Maybe.
Let them sit as speaker for a second if they don't have a picture. If they're there for 3 minutes, then they have a question. If they just FYI. Going up, I think a lot of people have a lot of questions about what you're doing. I think it would be great for you guys to hold maybe an AMA Twitter space for yourselves, just to get you out there and have your programmers there so that people can get the questions answered that they would want.
Yeah, definitely. We are planning to start doing more MAs with the community. So yeah, you would be welcome. And also our proposal is live on Catalyst. So if you like the project, if you think it's interesting, please vote for us.
Yeah, and where can people find out? Do you have a Discord, or where can people find out more information, or
Yeah.
come and ask those questions to you guys?
Yeah, so we have a Discord is in our bio. So you can look into our bio and you can join the Discord directly. It's just
Awesome. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day and coming up and spreading what you're doing. I think it's very interesting. I need to do more research and see what you're doing, but definitely take a look at your proposal and go from there. And if you haven't registered to vote, you should go register. I think there's 1 day left or something like that. I don't know.
You can register to vote. The snapshot will be April 7th.
So you got to
register.
So you got a while yet then.
Yeah. But register, and then you don't have to think about it. Going up. Thanks for coming. I hope you also reserve a breakout room on Town Hall to talk about
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the
other stuff.
opportunity.
And then when you guys launch, maybe in April, I hope you come back. I mean, I've got a ton of tokenomics question and stuff. So thanks for coming. What's
Thank you
next,
so
Leroy?
much. Bye.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I want to say thank you as well. Going up, I appreciate just the focus of your project. You know, I like to see new stuff, regardless of how I respond to things. New things are great. Me being silent is bad. So I think you're actually, you know, onto something here. It's just going to be interesting to watch you grow. And so please visit us again. Other than that, I want to just do the mid-roll real quick because I got to go on mute here in a minute. But this is halfway through the show, so I would appreciate it if everyone here would share out the space. Go ahead and tweet it out. And I'd also appreciate it if folks really think about supporting decentralization. And to do that, you know, we highly recommend you get all ADA off of exchanges, right? Having your ADA in a wallet that you have the recovery passphrase for is the best security. So get your ADA off exchanges into wallets and delegate those wallets to pools so you can participate in decentralization and earn ADA on your balance. If you're looking for a pool, Epoch or Hero or LIDO are glad to help you. And if you're confused, just message us and we'll figure it out. Epoch out.
Epoch probably got to go take care of his daughters, take them to school. It's sad that you're leaving because you're about to miss our next guest, which I'm exciting for. It's the Blockchain Learning Center. And you know me, I'm about education and teaching and people learning things. So who do we have behind Blockchain Learning Center?
Well, that would be me. David Baxter. I'm the founder of Blockchain Learning Center. And there's actually, so there's a lot that we're working on right now that we kind of have in the works. And I'll touch on each of these topics and then like ask for some questions afterwards, and we can have conversations to explore those. Probably the most imminent thing that we're doing is this Friday, we managed to get a space at the Arizona Science Center to go over there and set up a booth and start talking to people about blockchain. Our goal with that is to basically figure out where people are coming from, what their concerns are and their questions are, what they're excited about and afraid of when it comes to blockchain, and use that feedback, that research. We're going to have a couple of students from ASU with us and my wife and I, and we're going to record all the questions and all the interactions and use that research to iterate over the resources that we're developing and make better resources, come up with better answers for people's questions, but also figure out what we're going to put in our physical blockchain learning center. So I'm going to rewind really quick and just kind of go over, for anyone who hasn't heard me give my spiel about everything that we're doing, kind of what the Blockchain Learning Center is. So this kind of started in September. I quit my job to go try to do something better with my life, and I said,
Congratulations.
Oh, sorry.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel incredibly lucky that I was actually able to do that. I'm somebody who's lived through a lot of poverty in my life, and I know that the poverty trap is real, and that's really what this is all about. It's about elevating workers and raising the floor for people. So I got a small inheritance, and I made some money in crypto, and I'm using all of that to try to start a coffee shop called the Bean Chain, which is going to be a worker-directed enterprise. It's going to be a company that is directed by its workers through voting, using on-chain tools and off-chain tools to facilitate this kind of cooperative governance style within the organization. We're hoping to find a good way to run this coffee shop that can be easily scalable and usable in other industries and develop best practices around that, so that we can help anybody make their business into a co-op or a worker-directed enterprise of some sort. To that effect, I really think that blockchain tools is going to play a huge part in the future of that worker-directed movement of changing our business community from one that takes advantage of people and exploits labor to a degree that hurts our public, to one that respects its workers, and in which people feel as though they actually have potential for their future and they don't feel trapped. So that's the goal. Outside of that, I mean, we realize there's so much scope to this blockchain learning center idea. So we've actually taken it out of the Bean Chain, made it its own separate organization. The goal is to make both of these into some sort of worker-directed enterprise. The blockchain learning center probably into a DAO, hopefully in the near future, because I need to get more people into this project. And what we're going to be doing with the blockchain learning center is having these physical spaces within the Bean Chains, where we'll have a classroom and a lobby that has displays and demos, getting people a decent understanding of basic concepts within blockchain and alleviating any of the disinformation that they have right now. But also teaching more advanced topics and getting them to the point that they're ready to develop ideas and participate in incubators. And hopefully we'll have our own incubator that kind of, reaches out to all the other ones like Catalyst and helps people get their ideas off the ground and funded, and finds good ways to recapture some revenue so we can continue doing all of this forever. And we want to spread across the United States as quickly as we can and get these blockchain learning centers into community centers, schools, libraries, and bean chains, or brew chains, our idea for having a crypto bar, across the United States and Europe and South America. So that's where we're at. That's our ambitions.
So a couple things before you continue, just to break up everything. First off, I know the show Cardano Over Coffee, like, they love coffee, so you're definitely in the right place. Second off, one of the co-hosts of Cardano Over Coffee is a partial owner of a brewery in Pittsburgh. So maybe there's a connection there in the long run with that brewery.
That would be amazing to be able to set up another satellite center of our blockchain learning center in a brewery.
Maybe reach out to Epoch. I know he had to leave. He had some business to take care of, but he's a partner in a brewery here in the Pittsburgh area. So
I absolutely will. And I wanted to say, does anybody have any questions or want to talk about kind of our grand mission there before I zoom back in on what we're doing now and some of our current progress on our projects?
Karma, go ahead.
So it's something that came up on this show maybe a couple months back, and Hero, you'll remember this discussion probably. The question I would have is, have you looked at using the blockchain to track, and maybe I missed it there, but to track the authenticity of beans in other countries and track it through the supply chain, such that I know you're focused on the labor side of it, but what about authenticity of product itself? And maybe authenticity isn't the right word. Maybe it's, providence, right? Almost like from the stock to the store, from the beanstalk to the store. Are you looking at tracking the movement of the product itself?
I would love to get involved in that. So I am kind of I'm kind of the driving force on this team, and we are rather small right now. It's me, and I have a co-founder on the coffee shop side and a few contributors on the Bean Chain or the Blockchain Learning Center side. But I'm really the one pushing, so I have to stay pretty laser focused on just making this right now. But I do want this team to grow, and I'd love for it to start being a little more ambitious about taking on stuff like that in the future too. So there's definitely something on our calendar.
Have you seen the example of wine tracking grapes from the vine to the bottle of wine? Look up that example that was used as a proof of value on Cardano specifically. A couple of years back, they started that. And somebody else will remember the name of that initiative. I forget the tag name of that. And there was another one with olive oil. Same thing. You're tracking olives from the branch all the way to where it ends up in a bottle of,
I know that
extra virgin olive oil. Yeah.
I know that VeChain does chain of custody and logistics.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Does Cardano have an equivalent?
Yes, Cardano has the same capabilities that VeChain does with their trackability. Definitely, Cardano Foundation put out quite a few articles on that. You might want to look into it.
Yeah. So in terms of the coffee shop, we're actually about 6 months out from opening. We're negotiating our lease right now. We're kind of in the back and forth with the landlord on negotiating the lease, but our letter of intent's signed, so we're pretty much locked in. And we got an amazing location.
On that point, you need to reach out to me after the show because I want to talk to you about something.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got an amazing location, about 5,500 square feet, so a little big for a coffee shop, but just the right size for a blockchain learning center plus coffee shop. And we're going to be using about a third of that for the blockchain learning center area. Yes, NFT DeFi or something.
Oh, NFT Degen.
Degen, that's the one.
And where is this located?
This one is in Mesa, Arizona. We found a pretty cool location next to an old mall that was abandoned. And
damn, Carmen,
the thing is, that area is being rebuilt. So that mall is being turned into a massive business center. And there's that apartment building going up right next door. So we're kind of hitting this area just at the right time where like we can get some cheap rent, but it's also going to explode.
Karma, wait your turn next time. NFT Degen, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say this sounds really interesting, and I love the concept of what you got going, especially like trying to teach like the newer generations about all of this and everything kind of up and coming. I think it's awesome. I guess my main question is, how would somebody contact you to get involved? I noticed your DMs are off, and I know you got the Discord, but I just wasn't sure what the best way to do that was.
Oh, shoot. I did not know my DMs were off. I'll figure out how to turn those back on this. I kind of figured that they were automatically enabled.
If you just Google turn on DMs, it'll give you an exact walkthrough how to do it.
Yeah, sorry. I'm not the most professional social media guy. In fact, that's something that we should hire. Is someone to manage our communications a little better than I can. But yeah, no, go to our Discord. I'm always available. I wake up every day and this is what I do, and then I go to sleep. So if anybody ever wants to talk, they can do that. I'll put a Calendly link in our link tree as well, so that anybody can just schedule a meeting with me. You can also email me on either of the websites that we have on the link tree. There should be my email or an email that leads to me. And
awesome. Yeah, I'll be reaching out. I'm excited. I think there's some things that maybe I can contribute or even help out in any way possible. So yeah.
Yeah, and that actually kind of leads me into our brief next topic. But we do have an online. We're building an LMS platform right now, and it's down for maintenance at the moment. I'm sprucing it up and making it a little bit faster, but it should be back up later today. And we're inviting people to come create courses with us. We want to make free courses for people and offer them on the site as well as.
Sir,
sorry.
I would like to introduce you to my co-host, LIDO Nation. Yeah. I think you two could really probably work together on what you just.
Oh yeah, actually, Bean Sheen is one of the 28 people that I follow.
Okay.
Div and I have been chatting.
Okay, just making sure. Hey, that's all. Do my thing.
Yeah, they are the coolest people. Honestly, those two were one of the first groups that I met in the Cardano space, and gave me a really warm welcome, and just made me fall in love with this community. So
awesome, glad to hear. I love what you're doing because like education is definitely a thing to me.
Yeah, our goal is to be kind of a chain agnostic education center that really helps people find their place in the blockchain community and gets them excited about what the potential is. So to that effect, we want to build this platform out and make it an amazing teaching platform, both online and in person, doing workshops. But we're going to make it very community-based online. So we're asking people to come create courses, and I'm offering bounties to get the first ones made in there, because I know it's really hard to be the first, and it takes a lot of time to make a course. So we're offering $200 for free courses that people want to put out there for people to just take and learn. and $500 plus 60% of all sales on the course for more comprehensive paid courses.
Cash, I seen you come up as speaker. Did you have a question or a comment or anything?
Hello, guys. I hope you're doing good. GM. I do not have a question specifically to blockchain learning center. I love what they're doing, but when he finished his speech, I just wanted to ask a question, and if you guys could help me, since you guys are all into Cardano blockchain and community.
Yeah, he got about 10 more minutes, and then we'll answer any questions you got. Sorry about that, blockchain.
No worries. All right, so that's our online component, and if anybody else has questions on that, feel free to ask them now, and then I'll go over our last little initiative that we're doing, and I want to just open the floor for conversation, and I'd love to talk about what we're doing at the Science Center tomorrow a little bit more too, because I think the research component and like bringing together all that research from community is really powerful.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing the results of the questions that you get.
Yeah. And we're trying to turn all of those into, if you scroll down in our Twitter, you'll see some of the flyers that we've been developing. We want to make hundreds of those, one on each specific little question and topic that people are curious about, and make them accessible enough, like that people can very easily grasp the concept at a very high level, and then come to us to learn more, or talk to people in the community to learn more about the specifics of how those things work. Okay, so our last little project that we're currently putting a lot of energy into is we're working on an NFT campaign for the goal of this is to be partly fundraising to create more worker-directed enterprises and build out the Bean Chain and the Blockchain Learning Center. But the primary goal of this is to help the working poor. There's 100 million people more right now within 200% of the poverty line, which is essentially poverty. And everyone, I'm sure a lot of us know what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck and not be able to afford our medicine or our rent. And most people are going through that in America right now. So these people who are experiencing this working poor lifestyle, that feel like their stories need to be told. So we're trying to capture some of the stories that people are willing to donate and attach them to NFTs that they feel represent them, some images that they feel represent them, and then make those into NFTs. And we want to sell these as sets that will benefit the person who donated the story. 50% of the proceeds will go to them, and then the rest will go to compensate whoever's running that campaign with us and help build out the Bean Chain and the Blockchain Learning Center. So if anybody wants to get involved with that in any way, whether it's administrating it or helping us market, reach out, distribute, feel free to get in touch with me and let me know. I'm trying to kind of do that on the side as best I can, but I only have so much bandwidth, so it's going a little bit slow at the moment.
Slow's okay, as long as it's being done properly, right? That's the Cardano way, if you haven't learned yet.
Yeah. We have our first story. Someone's already kind of donated their experience, and we're looking for some art for them right now, and hopefully we'll be able to release that soon. But if there's no more questions on that, I'd love to talk more about the research we're trying to do at the Science Center. Did anybody have any questions on that?
How did you get a booth there?
Just persistence and tenacity. I frequently reach out to people that I don't think will talk to me, and then sometimes they do. So I reached out to their leadership. I emailed a whole bunch of people. I went to the Science Center and I talked to the person at the desk, and I was like, "Hey, I want to have a talk with your leadership about collaborating." and they got me an email, and eventually I got through. And they are really cool people. They're very excited about not only hosting our booth, but helping us plan out and set up our displays and demos in our own learning center. in our physical locations because I was heavily inspired by what they do. And they also, I see us honestly hosting some workshops at the Science Center as well as maybe having a wing there.
Let's get a coffee shop on campus. Let's go.
Yeah, and the Arizona Science Center is actually in a really cool location. It's right in the middle of Phoenix, and they've even shown some interest in having us put a coffee cart there, which would be an absolutely unheard of location to put a coffee cart.
Awesome. I had a question, but I forgot. Sorry, LIDO. I know you have. Listen, I know you can talk, but you gotta like ask some questions, or he's probably mining fiat. CSWS.
Hello. So I just got a quick question for Blockchain Learning Center. Can you just go in a little bit more detail about what you plan to do for, like the onboarding of people, maybe not normal cryptocurrency users? Because, most people that are going to be investing heavily, obviously a lot of younger people will as well, but older boomers that don't really know a lot, like what are you going to teach them how to interact? How to interact with the wallets, difference between chains, like what are you specifically going to be trying to communicate to the new people?
Perfect question. That is our primary goal, is figuring out how to bring this stuff that's in our realm, that's something that we're really familiar with out here, like cyberspace, and bring that to the real world and make it relatable to people that it's not relatable to right now. So that's part of our goal with going to the Science Centers here is like we're going to be meeting these families that are coming in to show their kids these displays, and our real goal is beyond getting the kids excited about blockchain is talking to the parents and figuring out like what's turning them off about blockchain technology. Or what are they stoked about, or what are they totally misinformed about? And when we can figure out what these entry points are and where most people are, we're going to design the displays and demos, stories and case studies that we're going to have in the Blockchain Learning Center in the physical space to answer those questions very quickly and simply as they walk in. They should be able to, in a very self-guided way, just have all the questions answered that they are most concerned about. And this needs to be an ongoing thing. So we're probably going to try to maintain this booth throughout the life of our organization. And things like this, go to other places where we can talk to people that might have some aversion to the blockchain. And I think figuring out exactly how it's important.
See, I think I'm running into a similar problem that you are, blockchain, not as in like as a company or something, but obviously I've onboarded a lot of my friends. I was into Cardano long before any of them. I onboarded quite a few of them, and we have a good group of parents. Actually, most of our friends, all of the parents get together, and I want to present to them just crypto. After the Senate meeting or the Senate hearing a couple months ago, it feels like there seems to be a little bit more legitimacy with cryptocurrency with just the general public. And I want to just present it to them just to see, let them know the opportunities that are out there. And from what you're talking about, like the Learning Center, it's kind of hard just to find where to start off, like where to jump off and like really get them going into it.
You know what? I'll make a page on our site that, and actually this was a suggestion last night. We did a test run of our booth, had a bunch of people over, and we showed them the materials we've developed already, and would try to capture some of their questions that we couldn't answer very well, and we're going to iterate on that before we go out tomorrow. But I'll make a page on our site that is like a where to get started for people that don't know about blockchain, essentially, page, and it'll be something designed so that like you can just bring people to that.
That would literally be perfect. I've been spending, last maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I see some good content on Twitter or articles or anything that's kind of explaining just how crypto is going to take us to the next level, like the next economic level when it comes to like technology and whatnot. And I feel like what you just said is kind of perfect, like some kind of central hub where I can bring it, and then all the information is available. to where I don't have to like make a PowerPoint, but I can still present it to them and they can make informed decisions and be able to access it themselves.
Yeah, I think most of us are out here making content for us, for people that are already in the know, and it's like really well thought out and detailed and like comprehensive content. But I think a lot of people who are just getting into this really just need something that like dumbs it all down, makes it super easy to digest, and like we want to have that be our primary audience because we just get people in, be the gateway drug to blockchain.
Nice. So thanks. You've probably got one of the best ideas I've heard and coming in here every day. Can't wait to see what you put out.
Absolutely. And anybody feel free to reach out and talk to me, and we can schedule 30 minutes to talk. I can give you the grand tour of everything if you want.
That's awesome. So blockchain, I just want to give you like the last couple minutes here to, anything that you want to, where can I go to find out more information? How can people reach out to you? Anything that you want to get out there?
Mostly the Discord. We got our Discord links for the Blockchain Learning Center and the Bean Chain in that link tree that's in our last post. And yeah, feel free to join those, and you can talk to me anytime. I'll hop into our open office channel with you anytime that I'm not already in a meeting, at least. And we'll do our best to share updates constantly. So yeah, just feel free to reach out. And yeah, I'm trying to get more people involved in the project. So just know that we're totally interested in working with you.
Awesome. Thank you for taking your time out of your day. Thank you for doing education, man. It's important. It's probably the most important thing out there. It's really the truth of the matter.
Yeah, I mean, our primary goal is to help workers, but the way to do that is to elevate people, is to, through things like the Bean Chain, change their financial situation, just pay them more of what they're producing in a company. And then through things like Blockchain Education Center, by allowing them to improve their minds and their lives and see what these tools can do for them.
Tall Cry, Tall Crypto, did you have a question?
Yeah, I have a maybe small suggestion. Put your Discord on your bio in Twitter, so it's gonna be easier. One click away, it's much easier.
Awesome, I will do that right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then another hint right off of that: make sure that you change it to never expiring, and then remember to go in and change it every 30 days anyhow, because that's a lie. That never expiring.
I've noticed that. Okay, cool. Thanks for verifying what I thought I already knew.
I just know because people are like, "You're this that." I'm like, oh, I forgot to change it. I'm sorry. So Cash. Well, first off, Block, thank you for coming by and taking time out of your day. Appreciate it. I'm gonna follow along. Please, I want to reach out to you about the beans. I'm gonna have a conversation about the bean side of what you're doing. And LIDO, I'm mad at you, just so you know. I know you're probably fiat farming, but I'm mad at you. Cash, you had a question you wanted to ask?
Yo, what up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. Look, a little bit, it's gonna be a short one. I honestly have been following Lido and Santo for some time since they are into the Cardano community. Basically, I've been in the space for about 9 months, and what I'm doing is full-time NFTs. I'm in the Arab world somehow starting to get known in the NFT space. I've been working with a lot of projects, but it's all on Ethereum. So basically, I have right now a very class A high-end client. He's a fashion designer, and basically he has his project running, which is a 120 NFT collection. So what's happening basically, I am running his campaign on Twitter, but the problem is that I have no experience whatsoever in the Cardano community, Cardano space. I'm all into Ethereum. I'm an Ethereum geek. So I've been following some people into the Cardano community, And what is happening right now, I'm trying to find people that are into marketing on the Cardano community
Cash.
base.
Hey, Cash.
Yup.
See the guy down below with money sign Cinnabon?
Money
Cinnabon?
sign Cinnabon. Where listening?
Yeah, he's a listener. I don't know if he's there to come up, or maybe he can send you a DM. That's who I would recommend you reaching out to. It's at Cinnabon with 3 N's.
I cannot find him right now. Feel free to follow me. I'm gonna follow back. I just wanted to give an opportunity for all the community of Cardano. I'm trying to find someone that is a marketing geek on the Cardano blockchain. It's a paid work. I'm just trying to give an opportunity, and I love this space. I followed you, bro. Um, I'm willing to join this community since the Cardano blockchain has a lot to offer in the near future as technology wise, and I totally understand what Cardano is doing. I'm a holder of Cardano token, um, but in the crypto part of, not NFT part of it. So. Yeah, just wanted to say hi. Nice to meet you. I'm gonna follow a bunch of you guys, and if anyone is interested, his experience, high-end experience in the NFT, specifically marketing, Twitter, Cardano, please feel free to so we can talk. And a very nice space, Share Pool. Definitely, I will be joining you. I also host spaces, but it's in the Arabic words. So if there's any Arab right here, feel free to follow. And thank you, man, for letting me talk.
Yeah, thanks for coming by, and welcome to the community. You'll find that there's a lot of people out there that are willing to help you in Cardano. I sent you the name of somebody that you can speak to about marketing in the NFT world, and I'm sure there's quite a few other people that will reach out to you from this show when they hear you speak. So, what have you found? Can I ask you a question? What has been the biggest challenge from coming over from Ethereum to Cardano? Is it just education of what you have available to do, or
Okay. Basically, in the Ethereum community, there are somehow they understand and they believe that the Ethereum is the only blockchain that is the most secured or decentralized. They basically say that on Solana, for example, it's centralized. On the Cardano, it's centralized, and basically the whole FOMO, or the whole mass, or the volume, is on Ethereum. So what we are trying to what's the problem that we are facing in the Ethereum blockchain and the merging between other blockchains is basically the fact of the leverage between the people that are into Ethereum and the people that are into Cardano. We do not have a mature based NFT based yet. We are still in the early process of it. New people are joining every day. Basically, since the Ethereum blockchain has its history, and the volume is all basically in the Ethereum blockchain, all the eyes are on Ethereum, and they're not willing to merge to other uh, blockchains. But since there's a lot of people that understand the technology, they are willing to somehow do their own research based on the technology part of the NFTs. I love Cardano because I think that on the long run they have a lot of stuff to do concerning merging and bridging to other cryptocurrencies, other blockchains. So basically, I don't know if you can please correct me if I'm wrong.
hey, stay tuned to next week. You'll be able to use the EVM on Cardano with Mokameda sidechain, right? So
Can you elaborate more, please?
yeah, Mokameda sidechain is a sidechain of Cardano that's, I'm pretty sure, releasing next week. They keep saying soon, but I believe it's going to be next week. I'll yell at Emmanuel if it isn't, but you'll be able to code using the EVM, right? So anything that you have on Ethereum, you can now do on Cardano using the EVM language. So,
and is the EVM easy like Solidity? Because there's a lot of developers that have this problem.
100% Solidity.
100% Solidity?
Yep. So the EVM Solidity.
So they can start to do smart contracts on Cardano using Solidity.
Yep. Well, it's
Nice,
technically
nice.
a side
That's
chain, right? It's a side chain, but absolutely.
it's a very 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 big move for Cardano. Honestly, is it? Can do you have any link regarding this? What you're
I will
saying?
send you their Twitter info, sir.
Please do that. Literally, that's a game changer, I guess. Because a lot of devs and there's I do have a lot of connections basically into the development part in the NFTs as coding, and the main concern of them are basically that Solidity is the easiest uh,
Well,
language to code
that's
on.
probably because they don't know Plutus or Haskell, right? But somebody who's right above you, like Epoch Pool, who offers a service for minting, he can mint you an NFT right now if you wanted, right? So there's people out there that already know how to do that. So like you don't even need technically to use the sidechain. You just need to find somebody who can do what people do on Ethereum on Cardano for you, right?
Exactly. And what do you think about the bridging from Cardano? Basically, if you mint on Cardano, you can sell it on Ethereum and vice versa.
I think interoperability is the most important thing there is for crypto to survive in the long run.
I'm trying to get you, bro, because Twitter speakers sometimes they got rugged within each other, but the listener is listening clearly. But I didn't get you. What I ask
Yeah.
is, what do you know any information about the bridging? Like literally, they said that you can mint on Cardano and sell on other blockchain. That's the bridging of blockchain.
Trust me, I understand bridging. I would just suggest you I could sit here and talk about it for hours, right? But I suggest taking time to look at the information that I sent you via DM. Look at Milkomeda and what they're doing. There's already DEXs coming over using EVM, Solidity EVM releasing probably next week, maybe the week after. I don't want to speak for them. I don't know, right? So everything that you think you need is already here.
Very, very nice. We need a lot of education concerning to especially to the Ethereum community, and we should somehow try to talk as a community of Cardano. Try to integrate yourselves. Basically, I'm talking for everyone related or works with Cardano blockchain. They should somehow teach or not teach. Just try to educate the Ethereum community that guys, there's not
So
only one blockchain. Join us. We
let
have
me
a lot
just
of potential.
jump in there real quick. There is I literally have a catalyst proposal for a coming from Ethereum. Yes, all the Cardano context.
The Great
That's
Migration, right?
yeah. So my contribution to that whole thing was having this one-stop place where you would get, you know, everything about Cardano stack using Ethereum language. So if you're currently in Ethereum and you go to this page, you will be able to understand Cardano very quickly.
Exactly. I'm waiting for this moment to all the people don't stick with one blockchain and they can merge to other blockchains because it's like it's like a club. Like literally you guys are on Cardano, there's people on Ethereum, they are like gangs. Like guys, don't think about that this way. You should understand the
It's
technology behind all the blockchain and based on that choose your best blockchain to use.
unfortunately, crypto has been that way ever since I've been in it, since 2017, and I don't see a clear path out of that. Because it's the crypto at this point. I think it's part of the crypto culture, unfortunately, and if it doesn't change soon, it's going to be baked in.
I was just gonna add also, Ethereum has gangs. We have cults.
Yeah, we got cults.
It's like soccer teams. I feel like a soccer team.
It's
You never change
competition.
your soccer team. Yeah.
But do you think it's better for the technology part and the innovation part of it when you have competition between people or the following or like Ethereum? It's for them somehow a push that there's a lot of people that are loving what they're doing. Same for Cardano. It's the competition, it brings a lot of innovation also. So I believe they should do like that, but don't be limited on your thinking. Just like I said, I don't know about Cardano, and I'm joining people that are into Cardano. You seem guys are very, very knowledgeable, very somehow friendly, and this is what it's all about: connections and meeting new people, and based on that you get all the information from each other. We do not have a one source of info or one reliable source of information that we can all rely on, like a website or something. The Web3 or the NFT space is purely somehow, in my personal opinion, I can see something, you can see another thing, and we are here to share what we're seeing and educate each other. That's how connections are made.
Hell yeah. Santo, sir.
Oh, hey, Cash, I think we've spoken before.
We did.
Yeah. So I'm just going to make one point, because I totally understand where you're coming from an interoperability standpoint. And we would all love to have our art on crypto, whatever blockchain. I totally get all that. But what Cardano has done that no other blockchain has done is they've made the tokens native to the blockchain. Okay, so Ethereum can't do that. Solana can't do that. Bitcoin can't do that. So that means I that's why we got pockets. Okay, I mean, now the Cardano development team thinks it's better to do it this way. And I can tell you, because I have my work on Ethereum, on OpenSea, and and Polygon. I've done it all, and I've looked at all, because I have to. It's just the way I am. I need to learn this stuff. Okay. So I think Hero's right. It's not going to happen anytime soon. We all want it to happen, but how are you going to do native assets on Ethereum? Doesn't exist.
Can you elaborate? What do you mean by the native token on the Cardano blockchain?
Oh, your mind. Listen, Cash, your mind's about to be blown. You're gonna finally realize something that you've never realized before. Santo, go ahead.
Yeah, I know. It's tough because it's technical. Okay. Basically, we're using a different accounting system, and you'll hear this term in Cardano all the time. We're using something similar to Bitcoin's accounting system model called UTXOs, unspent transactions. It's just a different way of doing accounting. But then what Cardano did is expanded the Bitcoin, UTX model for accounting. Ethereum doesn't do anything with UTX. So that's why you never heard these terms before. Okay, they don't use that. So what it is all of your assets actually travel with every single transaction. When you use a Cardano wallet, assets are moving with the that's what they mean by native. Okay, the assets, and when I say asset, that means it can be either an NFT or a non-fungible token, a fungible token or a non-fungible, right? A unique asset or a, something that might have value, right? I mean, like ADA. ADA is a token, but it's not a non-fungible token. It's a fungible token. But all of these assets live in wallets and live on the Cardano blockchain. In the Solidity model and the OpenSea model, which is why it's such a goddamn mess, that stuff is all off-chain and connected through smart contracts in Solidity.
Okay.
The assets do not live on-chain.
It lives in your wallet, and when you're transacting the whole.
Well, it's not in your wallet; it's on the blockchain. So your
on
wallet
the blockchain.
is actually,
sorry.
Yeah, your wallet is just a window into what's on the blockchain.
It's not risky for transaction and cybersecurity. Like literally, if you did a mistake, somehow you lose everything, or it doesn't work like that.
No, it's that's the other piece.
Hey, Santo.
Yeah.
Let TCT jump in here.
Sure. He always helps me out.
Yeah, no worries. I think we just got off the original question. Wasn't it about like bridging assets?
We'll add different conversations since the 5 minutes that we're talking. So
right.
There's not specific question. It's the whole scenario, like the difference between the community of Ethereum and the Cardano. What's the difference between them? What's in Cardano that it's not in Ethereum, and what is in Ethereum that it's not on Cardano?
Yeah, and I would just simply say just a more secure, deterministic way of doing things. That would be the basic answer, other than getting into like you said, just hours of kind of conversations going in a lot of different directions.
Well, I have this conversation almost every day now. The concept of why Charles chose Haskell. Why did Charles choose a functional programming language versus Solidity, which is not a function, it's an imperative language, it's a procedural language. It's about security.
So I'll play the Ethereum card. One thing that Ethereum does better than Cardano, and I know that's it's kind of hard to imagine. And then we'll go to the hand, dandy edibles. Right? Like if you're trying to do a lot of on-chain, in-contract, like quote unquote big data type operations, where you need to have a lot of state in your smart contract. Ethereum does a better job at that. The Cardano is trying to find ways around this, but that is a really hard thing to solve in Cardano, where your smart contract has a lot of state information about what's happening on chain. Cardano transactions are super localized, right? So when you go to transact, you kind of have to tell Cardano ahead of time, these are the data, this is where they're coming from. And that's why we're able to do the fixed fee and predeterministic fee. But then it makes it much, much difficult to make these like global state type applications on chain. You have to do those kind of stuff off chain. And I don't know whether that's good or bad, or the pros and cons, but that is one thing that Ethereum has that Cardano doesn't have.
Yeah.
Dandy.
And the only thing I would just mention and correct is that those smart contracts are on chain.
Right.
Ethereum does keep track of a global state, and so yeah, when you execute a smart contract, that is done. All the computation is done on the blockchain in Ethereum.
Listen,
Right.
all I can say before Dandelion starts is, if you would have told me 4 years ago I was having this conversation right now, I told you you're crazy, because all my ADA does is sit in a wallet. But anyhow, go ahead, Dandelion.
I think
I
Dandy
mean,
edible.
yeah, sorry. I mean, looking at everything, Ethereum has a lot to it, but the maxis and all that stuff, they just want it to be Ethereum. Cardano does offer a lot that Ethereum has, but like Santos said, there's the coin that you can use, anybody can provide value to. You can't do that on Ethereum. You can't do the same tokenomics on Ethereum that you can with Cardano. And just like everybody else is pointing out, assets belonging to you makes it easier for you to actually claim copyright values of your own product and your own stuff. So if you have music and things like that that's coming out, you're producing art, you're producing even with the smart contracts and stuff like that, and we're making games on Cardano, all these games are going to be copyrighted and need copyright value. And those are products that are coming out on the blockchain, connected to the blockchain itself. That blockchain provides that copyright value for whoever is producing all of these things. So on top of all of that, Ethereum does do it to an extent, but it's still very expensive, very hard to get through. You got so many gas fees, then you got to get into the maxis, then you got to do so much stuff. Whereas Cardano, you come in, you actually present to the people of Cardano that you know what the fuck you even think you know what you know, and they actually start accepting you. It's not a whole maxi thing in the Cardano industry.
As long as you're not
I'm a
trying
pretty.
to sell, as long as you're not trying to sell security or scam us.
I'm a pretty hardcore Cardano maxi, but that's besides the point. R, what up, Riley?
Yeah, I'm also pretty hardcore Cardano maxi. I'm not gonna lie. I got into crypto pretty early, and then I stayed out of it for a couple of years. And when I got back into it, I did a lot of evaluation, and I realized there was still a lot of the same shit from a couple of years ago. And I noticed that Cardano was something different, and I definitely thought that the local state of transactions was something that I found to be an interesting design decision, but a necessary one. And it makes it so that things are more difficult when you're looking at it from an engineering perspective, when you're figuring out smart contract systems, and especially when it comes to secure standards, right? Like, how do we want to have a reward mechanism on chain for a smart contract to where treasury funds are being distributed based on people's like on-chain amount? If we have a fixed amount for the like duration of time, how are we going to account for everyone's percentage, right, on chain? It's easy to do off chain. We can just look and we can divide it up, and that's what everyone's been doing so far. If you look at MinSwap, if you look at Sunday Swap, if you look at even with what Liquid's going to be doing upon launch, reward calculation is done off chain. But you could do reward calculation on chain using some of the design patterns that have been established at MLabs if you just look through the Plutonomicon. And so I think that what sets Cardano apart is that we have sought to create a ledger that optimizes away a lot of the things that you have issues with in Ethereum, right? We don't do on-chain computation. For example, we have these native tokens, as people have described, and they're not represented via smart contracts. They're just tokens, and they live in UTXOs. And so, I mean, there's just a lot that's been done that I think at the end of the day is going to allow Cardano to have a lot of systems that are interoperating to create a cohesive Cardano, right? Like Hydra, for example, is going to allow for a bunch of different groups to all be transacting within those groups at the same time off chain and committing those results back to the chain in a secure way. And so it's like, there's just so much innovation that you don't see in other places, and it's cohesive innovation.
Oh, can I ask Riley? So when you said a group, you mean like we kind of opening a new, you're talking about a DAO, or it's kind of opening a small blockchain and then when we get the result, we close the blockchain? What do you mean?
Yeah, the latter of those two explanations. It would be like if you have a set of parties that wants to do a bunch of transactions together.
There's an amazing website, that just came out yesterday. Did you see it?
Yeah, actually, it would be great. I don't have the tweet handy, but if
I'm gonna go find it. I'll go find it.
Yeah,
you talking about family Hydra family Hydra.
Yeah,
family?
There's a tweet with that web. Like the information explaining Hydra there is amazing. Just period. So I gotta find it so I can pin it. Unless you have it, Santo, that you can pin to the top.
Oh yeah, hang on a second.
And I just wanted to point out, when I say maxi, there are people in the Ethereum maxis that if you even hold a Tezos or Fold ADA in your wallet, they will block you, kick you out of the room, and tell you to go piss off, and they'll never talk to you. So when I say maxi, I'm not talking about, like, if I told you I have WETH in my wallet, you're going to say, really? Let me tell you about my Lord and Savior Cardano. But you know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, I don't
I'm not
think
gonna block you because you own ETH. Like, right? I'm not gonna block you.
Yeah, I don't think Cardano is that different. I think that what happened was that when we all started getting into it, there was a certain price point. There was a certain group of people who were associated, who weren't really rich, who didn't want to get scammed, who were pretty intelligent, who understood academically peer-reviewed papers meant something. And then I'm pretty sure that me, along with a few other people, were vehemently aggressive to anybody who was even close to scamming. I mean, I called people fuckers for like 2 weeks.
Were you here?
Anyone that made up shit. No, but seriously, anybody that made up stuff, it was like, I think this is what happened. I'm like, fuck no, that's not what happened. I don't know shit about tech, but that's not what happened. I was there for the conversation. You were there, Hero. I mean, it was not like there wasn't a massive amount of work. I just don't think it's because of the protocol that everybody's all happy-go-lucky. It's like, no, we had to like build that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think a lot of Cardano people have their fucking heads on their shoulders. Truthfully, that's the matter of it, right? Look around you. You have a lot of, look who's building it, right? I mean, it's all engineers and educational. Look at the head of fucking scientific research for IOG, period. That's all I got to say. Agalos, right there. I'm pretty damn smart. And to say that the stuff that he does, like the Ethereum maxis, they're all, you know, I don't know. I hate Ethereum. It's as simple as that. But the reason I hate it is because I've been called every name in the book by them motherfuckers. If you were here in 2018, 2019, you would understand that.
I can share a little bit of a different perspective of Ethereum, more from a software development point of view, because I never really got heavy into Ethereum. I did the Bitcoin mining thing from 2017 to 2020, and I did pretty good, and I cashed out at the top. So I did good. And then I was looking for my next thing, right? So I started looking into Ethereum. You know, and then I found Cardano, but here's the way I look at it, because I've personally written millions and millions of lines of code. I'm old code. Okay, I wrote in like C and a little bit of C++ a long time ago. But whenever you write software, it goes through a natural progression. And after 5 years, 10 years, shit, man, I use the term spaghetti. It's an Italian term, but it just turns into spaghetti because, you know, you're trying to do backflips, you're listening to customers, you're trying to add on this, you're patching that, you're doing this. And then pretty soon, oh, shit, man, I got to redesign the whole damn thing because it doesn't match anymore. I've been through that myself with my own product, my own code, where, oh, shit, man. The whole thing has changed so much. I have to redo the whole, right from the ground up. I got to redo it. And that's what's happened. Ethereum right now is just a bunch of spaghetti right now. And Cardano has redone it, and they're just coming to market. Now, will Cardano turn into spaghetti again? Yeah, probably. It's just a natural evolution.
I hope not.
I hope I see Trevor hand up just quickly. The entire Pluto's core or something. I forgot which specific component, but it fits on the napkin. Like the math of it. So I hope that napkin that doesn't turn into spaghetti. Now I will say Cardano does have someone called Newt, so we have spaghettis already. But Trevor, go ahead.
Yeah, hey, I just wanted to speak on the Maxi talk because Cardano is my main coin, it's my main community. I love Cardano. I've been thinking about whether or not I should call myself a Cardano Maxi because but I guess someone else spoke to the point. We have to understand that even the people who call themselves Cardano Maxis, the whole mindset is different, and I think it's because Charles kind of spoke to it. If Cardano achieves the maximalism or whatever, it's kind of because we have a system that can kind of take any innovation that another person's doing and put it on a side chain, for at least from what I'm understanding. So the whole way that we're not hostile towards any new innovation that we see, we're like, oh, okay, perfect, we'll spin up a sidechain.
How can we use that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how can we use that? And you know what? I bet we'll be able to use it better and more efficiently. So it'll be great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't say that I'm a maxi. I own VeChain. I also own Erg.
Yeah.
So like technically, I'm not an ADA maxi, I guess. So, but ADA
max.
Layer one by far Cardano blockchain.
Yeah, for sure. But like, I mean, like, I can't call myself an Maxi because I like the Cosmos and the whole Internet of Blockchain thing that they're doing over there. I think it'd be really interesting for Cardano to. I know we're trying to bridge to EVM right now, but I think it'd be cool to try to start building out towards the WASM world, because that's where the rest of the smart people in the blockchain space are going. They're moving away from EVM and they're trying to move toward the WASM WebAssembly language.
Block jock, and then R, and then that's the end, my friends.
Nice. So honestly, I guess I'm an Maxi when it comes down to it, the nuts and bolts of it. But I view every other blockchain as a way to create relationship, especially like Algorand and things like that. Polkadot, maybe something along those lines. Ergo, obviously, and things like that. But you know, we understand what we have, but at the same time, we're not so narcissistic about it. And we welcome anybody over from that particular, ecosystem from anywhere else, and let them know that they're welcome here. And that's really I think the end goal for everyone in Cardano, because ultimately we know what we have. It's just a matter of everybody else realizing it, right? So, and that'll happen slowly over a period of time. Right. Exactly.
They'll come around eventually.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or
just to kind of finish it off, and maybe this is a bit of a bold statement. I've made it before, but Cardano is the best layer 1 chain out there. I think that it's great that we were kind of just talking about the fact that we can take innovations from other chains and throw it on side chains or L2s, and there's a lot that we can do with other innovations. And I'm not opposed to seeing extensions go towards like WebAssembly, but I do think that for the purpose of layer 1, the system that Cardano has devised for validation of smart contracts is optimal, and I would hate to see it changed drastically.
I have to ask, if I have Baby Angel Squad, I'm a Maxi or not?
oh shit, I own them too. Damn it, I forgot about that. Damn it. Dandy, and then Epoch, and then I'm going. I got stuff I can do, I think, maybe.
Well, I don't want to call myself a maxi or anything, but I do love Cardano. I fully am on board when it comes to Cardano. The other ones are just kind of upsetting me more with gas fees and the stupid idiotness, but I just wanted to extend to you guys on the whole blockchain thing. I have Polygon potheads coming up here around between 9:15ish whenever I'm done smoking and getting my coffee ready. So if you guys want to join me after this show and join me in Polygon potheads, it's only a cute name, so it's not about Polygon, it's about whatever. I think we're talking about building communities today, so if you guys want to join.
Epoch.
Yes. So I just wanted to say a few things, because yesterday we had an interesting conversation. When we were bantering in the beginning, Hiro and I were talking about magic lines and probabilities of breaking up and breaking down. And I'm sitting here staring at ADA being 35% up in a market where everything else is not even close to that. So I just wanted everybody to remember that we're sitting on a volatile jet fuel type substance. And, if you're not paying attention, you may or may not see a 30% gain. So pretty fucking cool, and pretty fucking cool that Hiro and I were talking about this literally 24 hours ago. And we talked about getting in below under $1. So not that we're putting out financial advice here, but I just wanted to kind of call out props to Hiro for being quite on point, and also congrats to us. This is getting pretty impressive now, right? Multiple dexes, TPL is doubling. We have real growth. This is exactly what we want to see. So if you see some FUD, you can tell them to fuck right off, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Booyah, baby.
And it's not even June yet.
Yeah, what about Vasil? He's coming.
CIPs 31 through 33 are what I'm excited about.
Just unreal.
Listen, April's my birthday.
Going to 5.
Listen, April is my birthday month, and every year, I I'm not financial advice because I don't know. It could go to zero. No, it probably won't, but it could. Lido, anything you have to say before we?
We still need a few more community advisors to review proposals. You can't sign up anymore if you haven't signed up already, but if you did sign up and you haven't had a chance to do that, do consider logging back in and doing some reviews. You can go to Cardano Cataly.sd. There's a CA tool there that will show you the reviews that still need 5 or more assessments, and you can assess some reviews for Project Catalyst.
Hey, Lido,
yeah.
if you submitted a application, will they?
Sorry, I just didn't get to mute him today at all, so I needed to. Sorry. Go ahead, Block.
Thanks, man. I missed it really. When you think about it. So as far as the application goes, will they notify you via a message within Catalyst or ID Scale, or how does that work? Or you get an email?
Message about what?
So I submitted my application for a Catalyst or community advisor and our community, reviewer.
If you check that box in idea skill and everything, you can just start reviewing in idea skill. Like you would have gotten an email that says the review has started, but you just open idea skill and start reviewing, and you can use this Cardano.Cataly.sd CA2 to see which assessment still needs more reviews. There's a lot less proposals than anticipated, so the payout for reviews for this fund is going to be a little higher than last fund. So that should be
so perfect. The bar's set really low then. Okay, thank you.
You better make a good review for us, Block.
Hey, Block Jock.
I'll be only the one I know about. What are we talking about?
Hey, Block Jock.
Only Stoic can't review ours.
That's right.
Who wrote it.
Yeah, what's up, Hero?
Hey, Block Jock. Ada Cafe, who supports a lot of your Twitter spaces that you hang out and go listen to, has a proposal out there. You should go maybe review it, check it out, maybe vote for it when it comes up for voting. I would appreciate it.
Got some too. Absolutely. I got both. I got you guys, man. I got you.
All right. But don't forget to spread the word too, because just voting for us isn't enough. We need people talking about it, right? So I would appreciate that anybody who comes and enjoys this show takes a look at the proposal that the Ada Cafe has out there. If you don't want to vote for it, that's cool. I understand that's your prerogative, but at least just look at it. I'd like to see our vote count from last proposal to this proposal double to how many people we get to vote. Whether that's a yes or no, it does not matter to me, but let's get out and vote. With that said, thanks to our guests going up and also the blockchain coffee guy. Appreciate it, what you guys are doing. I look forward to following along. I thank LIDO and EPOCH for co-hosting, and TCT. I know he got rug pulled, as always. We're going to make him an official NFT as the rug pull king. Everybody go out, build something, have a great day, enjoy yourself.
Thanks, Hero.
See you guys. Thanks, Hero.
Thanks, Hero.
Enjoy, everybody. Later.